Hey guys, I was just thinking I'm getting ready to play the second Lebanon War here from Brief Border Wars from Compass Games, and I figured, hey, why don't I do a little brief tableside chat, kind of like Kev Sharp does? Actually, it's totally like Kev Sharp does. So, Kev, I'm stealing your idea because I like it. Um, like I said, I just set up for the second Lebanon War. This is the final game in the Brief Border Wars box that I need to play. I played the other three, and I wanted to share some initial thoughts on the system. Here, Israel is in blue, and the Hezbollah are in white and green. And like I said, I have not played this one yet, so just getting ready to do it. But having played the three previous games, I wanted to share some thoughts on the common threads that I've noticed amongst all three of the games. First off, it's a fantastic game, a fantastic box set to get. It's a lot of fun and low complexity, but there's a little bit of more complexity than you may expect by looking at it saying, only 4 pages of rules, because there's different layers you need to think about. First time I played it, I learned the number one rule of this game is aggression. This is a 7 turn game. All of them are 7 turns. So very short to the point. Brief border wars. So you need to be aggressive and punch a hole, and you need to exploit that hole that you get and go for the victory points as fast as possible. That is one of the things I've noticed. Now, the first time I played any of the games, the first one I played was Attila. That one was a little different because that one is the most different of all. That's probably my favorite in the bunch because it's literally the island of Cyprus and you're in a ring and it's essentially a brawl. And I love that. The others, there's a little more nuance to it. And if you do like I did in the first game, Football War, I was not able to make incursions like I needed to for the Salvadorans because the Hondurans were able to gain the initiative, and that's one of the keys in this series is you use cards. Everything's card driven, and one player will be assigned white, one player will be assigned gray, and you will take these cards and you'll draw 6, and whoever gets the most cards wins the initiative for that turn. They go first. If it's a tie, the player that is designated as the tie winner will get the initiative. Initiative is really key because depending on how the cards draw, that will dictate your tempo. And that's the way I look at it is operational tempo. If I get initiative and I get 4 cards to your 2 cards, then I've got momentum. I can take that momentum and go with it. Especially if I'm the attacker, I need that momentum because I need to punch that hole through. The defender, on the other hand, can actually there's things you need to do defensively, but at the same time, it's not a bad idea to pass because if you know they're out of cards and maybe you got 3 cards, you don't have to do anything. Then don't do anything. Pass because he's going to pass and that's the end of the turn. And you want to put that time clock on that player, that pressure on the other player. And when playing solitaire, it still works very, very good. You just look at your cards and just play both sides honestly. You can even randomly draw a card if you want, one at a time from the hand. You have to draw to see who gets initiative, but I don't play that. I just look at both hands and I play to the best of my ability. Of the 3 I've played so far, the one that I've had the least positive experience with was the Third Indochina War. And I'll explain why, because I'm going to need to play that one again because I think it was a combination of bad luck and bad play on my part. What happens in the Third Indochina War, what happened in that game was, like I said, 7 turns. The first turn, Vietnam had 4 cards. I had 2 cards as China. One of those cards was an event card. I rolled the dice, and what was the event? Both players discard 1 card. So at that point, the Vietnam player was down to 3 cards. The Chinese player was down to 0. Bupkis. So, because one of them was the event card, the other was the one that had to be discarded. So that was 1 wasted turn right there. You know what? Life happens. That's just the way it is. That's chaos. That's combat. That's friction. That's just, okay, fine. We go in there a little bit further. I'm not being as aggressive as I need to be. I did not, coordinate my forces as smoothly as I should have, and I got bogged down. And that's part of what I also love about this. The fighting is not all just one and done and you move through. No, hell no. It's back and forth slugfest, but I think it really is a good indicative showcase on how fighting is when you have local forces in a lot of these instances and lower trained forces in these little brief border wars. They're not going to go for the kill right away necessarily. They're not going to go for the easy victory. They're not going to steamroll someone. They're going to get bogged down because both sides are just going to kind of trade punches back and forth, and not one side is going to always have to be more effective than the other. With that said, there's also road networks and stuff, not on this map, but on the other map that I didn't utilize correctly. But as we go along, I've got victory points. I'm up to 4 victory points. I think it was 4 and 5 is a draw. 6 is where you get to your minor victory. 8 or greater in that one was a major Chinese victory. Well, what happened was I get to turn 5. And at turn 5, I get another event card. That event card is a ceasefire agreement, and that means the game goes from turn 7 to turn 6, and I'm in turn 5. So I had 4 points at that point. I could not get any more because I just got too bogged down in the fighting. Die rolls were not going my way. The Vietnamese were putting up a staunch defense. They were bloody in my nose really bad. And I just, even when I use the special action cards, and you can use these special action cards here, you have 6 of them you can use throughout the game. When it's your turn to play a card, you can use them to flip all of your disrupted units in an area. My guys kept getting disrupted, and I kept flipping it back over, but I could not punch through and get those extra victory points. Now, like I said, it wasn't the best experience, but in fairness, that's just the way the cards went. Also, in fairness, I had 4 points. There was some bad play on my part, bad luck with the cards. Great. But I still had 4 points. That tells me that within 7 turns, and I got 4 points, I was only a couple points away from a minor victory. I was halfway to a major victory. That the design is very finely balanced. Brian Train has done a great job with this. If even with the bad luck I had, I was still scoring points, that means that the balance is definitely there. So big kudos to Brian. Big kudos to Compass Games on this. It is a beautifully produced game and a lot of fun. So if you've not gotten Brief Border Wars, I would definitely give you 2 thumbs up on that one. I really have enjoyed it so far. And like I said, I'm going to play this one, and then I'm going to replay the Third Indochina War. I'm probably going to replay all of them at least one more time, and then try to share my final thoughts in a full review. But pretty much this is kind of my tableside review. Take it as definitely giving you a thumbs up on the game, and if you've been curious about it, go get it before it gets sold out. Then you'll be missing out on it until the next one comes out. But I'm really glad that they're doing these quad series games, Compass Games, and I look forward to seeing more from them. Well, that's all I got for right now, guys. I just wanted to do a quick little tableside chat, and I will catch up with you guys on the next one.